My name is Marc Markell, and I am an educator and speaker. My specialties are in learning disabilities, psychology, grief and death, cognitive disabilities, and autism. My website is markmarkell.com. In addition to being an educator and speaker, I will companion and support children, adolescents, and adults with cognitive disabilities, autism spectrum disorder, learning disabilities, behavior disabilities through grief. I will also work with their families. Typically, I will do this by Zoom, and it is with the individual or individual and family or the family. Please contact me for an appointment, markmarkell@yahoo.com or 612-226-9395. Oftentimes, people with disabilities cannot find a support group or a grief counselor that will work with them, and this is an opportunity for people to get support and to be companioned as they experience grief. Just a little bit about my background. I have degrees in theater communication arts and elementary education. They're both bachelor's degrees from the University of St. Thomas. I have a master's degree in special education from Minnesota State University at Mankato, and I have a PhD in educational psychology from the University of Minnesota. My teaching experience includes being a fourth grade teacher, a high school special education teacher for students with moderate to severe cognitive disabilities, a middle school teacher for students with learning disabilities, emotional and behavior disabilities, and mild cognitive disabilities. I am a professor at St. Cloud State University in the Department of Special Education, and I also teach at Worsham College of Mortuary Science in psychology. I teach at the University of St. Thomas in the Department of Special Education, the University of Minnesota in the Department of Educational Psychology, and a National University of Education in Incheon, South Korea in the Department of Education. My licenses include elementary education K through 6, learning disabilities K through 12, mild moderate cognitive disabilities K through 12, moderate to severe cognitive disabilities K through 12, and I am a reading specialist K through 12. In addition to my teaching licenses, I hold certifications as a professional development specialist through the University of Kansas Center for Research on Learning, direct instruction educator through the Association of Direct Instruction. I am a certified thanatologist, which is a study of death, dying, and grief, through the Association of Death Educators and Counseling. I'm certified in Death and Grief Studies through Colorado State University Center for Loss and Life Transition. And I'm also a certified cremation operator, and I am a certified celebrant. These are both through National Funeral Service Professional Organizations. Though I'm not certified, I am trained as a funeral arranger and end-of-life doula. Again, these are through National Funeral Service Organizations. My educational specializations include learning and behavioral disabilities, positive behavior strategies for students with disabilities, literacy for students with disabilities in the areas of learning disabilities, emotional and behavior disabilities, autism spectrum disorder, and cognitive disabilities, psychology, and grief and death education. And as I said in the second slide, I also companion and support people with disabilities and their families as they're experiencing grief. I have written 3 books, many articles, and some book chapters. The 3 books that I have written include The Children Who Lived, using Harry Potter and other fictional characters to help grieving children and adolescents. This book I co-authored with my sister, Catherine Markell. I wrote the book Helping People with Developmental Disabilities Mourn, Practical Rituals for Caregivers, and I wrote Everyone Grieves, Stories about Individuals with Disabilities and Grief. These are a few of the articles that I've published. I've published articles on people with disabilities and grief, assisted dying and grief, after a suicide and grief, remembering children through the grieving process, and supporting same-sex couples as they go through the grieving process. Here we see some of the presentations that I have given. On the left side, we see the first slide of some of the presentations that I've given, and these presentations include both grief and loss and learning strategies. On the right side are some of the learning strategy presentations that I have given for teachers in service and pre-service. Again, my name is Marc Markell, and I customize presentations and grief support that fit your need and your budget. I also customize presentations on strategies and other educational issues. For more information, please contact me at markmarkell@yahoo.com or 612-226-9395. And my website, again, is markmarkell.com.